Ruth Chase is here talking about art, and I know you've just applied for a grant to do something more locally. You live in Venice, California?
No, I live in Nevada City.
Where'd I get that from?
Well, because I'm doing the West of Lincoln project, and
Okay.
that's based in Venice.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, so I got a grant for the West of Lincoln project, which is based out of Venice, and then I'm working with the Nevada County Arts Council in Nevada City to do a similar project in Nevada County.
Cool, and the West of Lincoln, for people that aren't familiar with Venice, Lincoln Boulevard, west of Lincoln Boulevard is pretty much all that beach area. And what I think most people, if you go to visit Venice, you think of it as Venice, California.
Right. Actually, Lincoln is a huge dividing line between west of Lincoln tends to have a more diverse population, and east of Lincoln, that's the opposite of west, is just less diverse.
Cool. So what's the project here then?
Well, I'll tell you what the project is there because we haven't decided what's going to be here.
Okay.
So West of Lincoln is a project where I feature individual locals from the Venice community, really just trying to highlight the local population and how it is just featuring locals and their stories and their history before it's gone.
You know if my buddy Harry's still down there? Do you know Harry?
Yes,
of
I do.
Of course you do, yeah.
Yeah. He's not a Venice local, though. He goes to work there. You're talking about Harry Perry?
Of course.
On skates?
And where's he live?
I don't know, but he drives in.
And even if you've ever been to Venice, you've probably seen Harry Perry with the guitar and the turban on, a black dude with a great beard and just a great spirit. I mean, I was there 35 years ago, and he was there.
Exactly. So this is a great point. A lot of people that are down at the boardwalk, they are the people that you think of when you think of Venice. And any town that is undergoing big changes, I don't know if you guys experience that here, but the local population really is the heart of a community. They're the people that through time have created the place that you love so much.
Exactly. And they're the people that have created what everybody else wants to come see.
That's right.
And that I feel like is very much our community here too.
Right.
So what ideas do you have for ours? Similar, feature some of our local artists?
Well, right now I'm just interviewing and meeting with some community activists in Nevada County, and I still have to apply for the grant. The Nevada County Arts Council has really been mentoring me and helping me with that. And if we get it, it's going to do something featuring the local population.
Now, what makes someone an artist? I mean, I can draw a picture and paint, and I can be creative. My daughter, she's 4, she can. I mean, at what point do you say you're an artist or what's the difference really? It's interesting. I haven't really thought about it. You're sitting there and going, maybe I could get something, because I have a great idea for one. I'll tell you in a minute. But
okay. Well, that's a good question. Anybody can make art and anyone can be creative. And you could just leave it at that, usually someone who's pursuing their profession in the arts.
Sure, of course.
Right, they have a lot more hours practiced in
a
medium.
In this program, you see someone, you say, boy, that's a kid who's just making something that other people can connect with, and it becomes something. Yeah. I know you brought this one. Whose painting is this that we're getting ready to look at? This is
my painting. I do. There are 12 people in the West of Lincoln project where I interview them about their life and growing up in Venice. This piece is Eddie Hadvina. Eddie Hadvina is he was in the Boy Scouts in Venice, and there he met a lot of people that went on to become famous skateboarders. But for him, he struggled with alcohol, and watched a lot of his dreams.
I bet there was some drugs in there too.
Right. Well, and even throughout the people that went on to be famous.
Yeah.
But this piece is called Second Chance, and really it speaks to people who don't get an opportunity to follow their dreams until later on in life. So Eddie is now in his 50s. He skates for the OG Jam series.
Oh, so he was back there with like Tony Alva and Peralta and those guys coming up,
right? Jay Adams. Yeah. And what he has is a trophy from the OG Jam series, and his skateboard, Santa Monica Skates, Airport Skate, I know I'm getting that wrong, is his sponsor. And so this painting with 11 others will be exhibited in Venice during the summer. And it will have his biography, basically what it was like to grow up in Venice, what he's learned from looking back on his life, and giving the current community of Venice
a backstory to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's what the grant's paid for, is to hire 2 writers, Jen Alasko and Denise Woods.
Yeah.
They're working on this project too.
My idea,
yes,
after seeing the Boy Scouts, because as soon as that came into the studio, I was like, I love that. That's great. A Boy Scout burning an American flag.
Yeah, that would be powerful. And why is that?
The reason is because most people don't realize that the Boy Scouts are the ones that take old flags,
right,
and and get rid of them, and they do it through burning them, and it would be such a
wow.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's, and it made me think of it right away. I've been doing some research on the American flag recently.
Well, that's
a side story,
right?
It's a side story, but it's unique in that when it becomes time for the flag to be retired, they collect them, and the Boy Scouts are the ones that burn them with all the respect and honor that the American flag deserves. So I just think in right now the client, it's an idea, and you can.
Well, what you're talking about is part of what artists deal with, where they're trying to take complex topics and present them to the public so that they can think or maybe have a different some insight or a different opinion about something.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing, and I'm glad you're bringing it to our community, and that Venice community. I mean, doing what you did there west of Lincoln. I mean, it's hard to find. It'd be hard. I don't know where else in America, maybe a few spots, probably mostly in California, find such a diverse group of eclectic people in one small community.
Right. And
I lived there for years, you know.
Oh, you did?
I did. I lived there, well, I say years, 4 years, but it was 35 years ago, and some of the same characters and some of the same vibe is still there today.
Right. So all of these people in the project, they mostly grew up there during the 80s. And so their stories talk about what it was like to create the Venice that you see today. But one thing I wanted to ask, if I could put out there, is I have a 13th painting, and it's a group piece. And if anyone's interested in submitting their photographs, it's going to be a collage of pieces, and I'm still taking submissions. You do not have to have lived in Venice.
Okay.
You only need to have a photo and a story about it. And you can find that on my website, which I know you guys are posting.
You bet. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, and
so
I
nice to meet
look
you.
forward to hearing from you again once we figure out exactly what we're doing in our own community.
Exactly, and thank you very much for having me here
Pleasure.
today. Yes.
Ruth Chase in the studio this morning. We'll take a break and come back with your 7-day Lake Tahoe forecast.